Hello, and we are now on week two of our Raising Our Vibrations a Day at a Time. This is Connie once again, and I'm so excited to start this week. Today is Monday, March the 1st. Oh my God. And time check, it's 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tell me where you are watching from whichever part of the world. I'll be very happy and excited to welcome you in today's broadcast. It will be short but sweet. It's somehow a continuation of what we were talking yesterday and the past few days. Like I say, I referenced this through Michael O'Shea's Law of Attraction. And today we're going to be talking about clarity through contrast. Yes, yesterday we talked about, I guess, if you remember, I'm going to just bring in my banners. Yesterday we did talk about the three steps that we needed to do to gain clarity and be able to change a negative to a positive vibration. So we don't get stuck in that situation that we don't like and change it into something that we truly like or desire. So the first step, like they said, is to identify your desires, give your desire the attention that it needs. So you allow the law of attraction to sense that. Remember what you put your energy, your attention, and focus into is what the law of attraction senses and what it gives you back more of. And then you need to allow it. If it gives you something, gives you opportunities, you gotta be open to possibly allowing it. Because this is possibly the answer to what you're looking for. I'm not saying that all opportunities out there are the answers to your questions. You gotta be at least be open to doing your own diligent research on it and finding the best out of it. And if this is what you truly want, well, then allow it. Okay, we're going to break this down further. Like I said yesterday, these three steps are going to be the major pillars of all of the other discussions that are coming. And we're going to be focusing on the number one step, which is identifying your desires. Um, and so the topic today will focus partly on a big chunk of this one. And as we go towards the next few days, towards the coming weeks, we'll break up the other steps and come back to these other steps. It's gonna come back into a full circle. And you may notice I may be saying some things over and over again, but this is to us to persistently keep it in our thought process and then keep sending that positive vibration out so the universe sends us more of what we truly are giving it to. Okay, so how do you identify your desires? You need to know what you want, but you have to be clear with what you want. It's easy to say that I want this, but a lot of people don't really realize that that might not be what they truly want. You got to be really clear and specific. Some people is find it easier to dwell on things that they don't want. But if you find yourself in that circumstance, you can use that to your advantage by identifying that briefly, observing that briefly, and then switching to find your clarity on your desires. This brings us to the next one, which is the main title of the topic, clarity through contrast. So, what is contrast? Contrast is anything that you don't like, that doesn't feel good, or that causes you to be in a negative mood. So, all those negative things, for instance, you suddenly um, ate something, you tried it, it looks good, tasted it, didn't like it, doesn't feel good. That's a contrast, okay? Or you suddenly you're looking at a very nice object and touched it. Oops, it hurts. It pricks your hand. That's a contrast. It didn't make you feel good. The same way goes with feelings and emotions. Whatever doesn't feel good or that puts you in a negative mood is a contrast. Okay? So, is contrast helpful? Yes, but by observing contrast and identifying it as something you don't want, you become clear about what you do want. That is true. But be very careful when you use contrast and don't dwell on it too long. Because remember, when in the past few days we've discussed too that we sometimes create an undeliberate attraction through observation of things we don't want or the feelings that we don't want. If we tend to dwell too long on it, observing it too long, you create that feelings and emotions that create a negative vibration, hence sending out to the universe and the law of attraction a negative vibration that it gives you more of. So the cycle just goes on and on because you were dwelling well too long on it. So again, when you find yourself in a situation, in a contrasting situation, you then ask yourself, so what do I want? That gives you right there an instant clarity. Once you find the answer to what you do want, that gives you clarity to what your desires is. And you can use contrast to gain clarity about what you want by answering that question, which is precisely just what I said. So, your key is when you find yourself in a contrasting situation and you don't like it, it doesn't feel good, it does not feel right. You ask yourself right away, what do I want? What do I really want? That way you'll gain clarity. Once you have the answer, you can start writing it down. Then you'll have more clarity of the things that you really want, what you truly desire. Okay. Notice that you become clear about what you like by paying attention to what you don't like. Yes, it did. Contrast has provided you clarity, but like I said, once again, be very careful when you use that. It is a very useful tool, but I don't want you being stuck in it. So the key is to getting what you want without getting stuck focusing on what you don't want is to briefly, like I said, briefly observe the contrast. So, how long is briefly? Only you decide how long is briefly. I don't know how long you prefer to stay stuck in that situation, but I would rather that you not get stuck in that situation. To me, a brief one is like when you love ice cream. Here comes a new flavor. You taste it. Ugh, that sense of taste right away tells you, I don't want this. So now what do I want? You put that away, the one that you don't want, and then think, what do I really want? Maybe I just like cookies and cream ice cream. I'm going back to the basics. Maybe I just want some vanilla. And that's probably just, that gives me clarity that truly not all ice creams is something I would be finding pleasure in eating. Because I only love the most and have clarity on this one that I would like vanilla and cookies and cream. Not all that looks pretty is great. So, or taste. But mind you, though, there are situations in our lives that people tend to dwell too long observing that contrast. And sometimes it's hard to just switch to something new. Oftentimes, what I observe is that there are people who are in relationships experiencing contrast. And sadly to say, they dwell on it too long before they realize and ask themselves, what do I want? You don't have to be stuck in that situation. Not that I'm saying you gotta divorce or leave this person right away. If you are experiencing something that's a contrast with your partner, with your boyfriend, you identify that. So, what do I want? That doesn't mean you have to leave the relationship. You probably, once you know what you want, then you know, do the next step. Maybe you need to start talking to this person and tell this person that this is what you want and come up with a solution. That's how I mean by it. Other situations that we get to stuck too long are is other than relationship, love, money, health, those things. And I, for instance, probably are guilty of a few of those. And I need to work on using my contrast briefly to get clarity on what I really want and work on it. So it says here observing contrast briefly and changing to clarity really fast. The key is to get out of that negative thing that puts you in a negative mood, the contrast, the thing that you don't want, to get out of there, find clarity, ask yourself what you don't want, and change fast your vibration. Once you know the answer, you're away. Create thoughts that is positive, and you start creating a vibration, and then you reinforce that. You give more of it. Remember, like we said, persistently makes your desire irresistible to the law of attraction. Okay. And like I said, however, a few areas in our lives where there you may find yourself observing contrast far too long. And I find that these are like money, health, relationships, um, our businesses sometimes that there are contrasts that we tend to dwell too long, which shouldn't be. And I probably had been guilty of that because if there I have like an ad that's not working and I observe it and instead I let it run for a little longer. So what I should do is this ad is not working. It's not gaining conversion. So what do I want? I want an ad that converts. I want an ad that's not gonna make me spend way too much money before I get a lead. So what do I do? Now I want that. I now create a plan in my mind, something strategic, something actionable. Now I either change my targeting or either change my budget, change the location of my target and do something or better yet, I should be ready to accept to turn off that ad and create a new one. So, lesson learned, Connie, and you got to do that. Okay. Maybe some of you can relate to what I just said. And if you are, raise your hand in the comment section below. I'd love to know that I'm not the only one having through that. So, all together, we're going to do that. Okay. And then we're going to go to here. It says the least amount of time you spend putting your attention, energy, and focus towards the contrast, the better. Because, like I said, the longer time you spend on the contrast, you're attracting negative energy, and you don't want the negative energy. You don't want the negative vibration. You want to quickly identify what you want. Ask yourself the question. Once you find the answer, quickly change because it's going to give you clarity and answer already. The thought process of what you really want. Now start to create an action towards it. And now you are creating a positive instead of a negative vibration. Remember, like I told you yesterday and the other day, the law of attraction can only sense and give you back one vibration at a time. So it cannot sense both the positive and negative vibration. It does not remember what your vibrations were 5 minutes ago, 5 hours ago, 5 days ago, 5 months ago. It remembers what's in the moment. So what's clear, if you're clear right now with your intentions, with what you want, you're sending out positive vibrations, and that's what it's going to be reacting to, and it's going to give you more of. Tell me if I'm talking too fast. Okay. All right. And then today's challenge. I love this. I'm getting uh, identify your desires. First, choose a particular area in your life. Identify your desires in that particular area in your life. If you are clear with it, great. I want you to do more of it. But if you come to a point realizing that you are unclear about what you truly want, be it in love, wealth, money, business, personal, I want you to observe your contrast briefly. Whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable or not feel good or in a negative mood or what you don't want, but briefly, then ask yourself right away, so what do I really want? Write them down. You're gonna be surprised that you're going to have so much clarity of the things that you truly want and what you truly desire. And tell me if you've done that tomorrow. Hope you do. And I hope you find value in today's challenge. So I am going to just give you a very quick announcement though. Um, Today, I have launched a Facebook group. And I am inviting you guys to join the group. It's open to the public. Just click join, and I'd be glad to welcome you into the group. It is called We Are Early Risers. Risers is an acronym I have created, which stands for Raising Vibrations. That's the R, Raising Vibrations and Intentions, using strategic actions to empower with resources for success. Don't you just love that? We are early risers. So R is raising your vibrations, I is the intentions, S is for the strategic actions, E is to empower, R is for the resources that we all need, and S is the ultimate goal that everyone has, success. So this is going to be a safe place for you guys to be able to share in um, and find positivity. Find the right mindset in whatever area in your life. Only positivity is allowed in there. Anybody that starts posting or putting something that's negative, I would probably have to make a limit on that one because I want to create that group that's going to provide us with the highest vibration possible. That when you're in that group, you feel good. That is a feel good place, a safe group for anybody. It doesn't have to be just for business owners. This is a group that's open to individuals, families, or anybody who's looking to find a positive mindset and to stay focused on that positive mindset. And as we go and as we grow, we're going to be sharing each other's tips and suggestions on how to raise our vibrations better, tips on how to grow and develop ourselves personally. That's going to help us either in our businesses or in our personal growth as a person. But it's going to be a group that's full of positivity. And when you go into that group, all that I want you to feel is happy and good vibes. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope to see you again tomorrow and hope to see more of you join me in the group We Are Risers. And this is once again Connie, better known to my friends. I'm Conception Vito of Sure Business Marketing LLC. Have a nice day and see you tomorrow. Love you all.